Hi everybody, it's Jenny, and today I'm excited to share a video for Pixie Dust Designs using the new 3D door box die. This large die includes everything you need to create the box, as well as some additional pieces that you can use to decorate it. And I'll just go ahead and get started, and we'll take a closer look at all the pieces included. So here is a closer look at all the additional elements that can create windows and frames and panels for the door front and sides of the box. Next up, I'm going to pick out some color cardstock along with some pattern paper to create my 3D door. And I thought it would be really cute to do a pastel winter theme. First, I'm going to cut the base pieces of the box from some light blue cardstock. And for this piece here, as well as the smaller piece with the score lines, you're going to need to cut that out 2 times. So these are all the pieces that will make up the base of the box. But before I start assembling the box, I'm going to go ahead and cut out all of my decorative pieces. And for that, I'm going to use some holographic cardstock as well as the pattern paper. And you'll see here that for my door panel, I chose some plain purple cardstock, but you'll see later in the video that I ended up recutting that from some pattern paper. And once I had everything cut out, I went ahead and started with the assembly, and I did that first by decorating the 2 side box pieces with some window frames. And because I'm using 3 windows, I decided to measure out a piece of washi that is the length of the box piece, and then I'm going to use a ruler and some more washi to get some equal spacing. And the fun thing about this die is that it's completely customizable, so you don't even have to add windows at all. You could just add the panel pieces, or you could just do 2 windows or 1 or any combination. And then once I had the window frames spaced as equally as I could get them, I picked them up with some washi, and before gluing them down, I just used the ruler with the same spacing to mark where the frame should go. And then I'm just going to add the glue and go ahead and place those frames onto the box piece. And then I'm just going to use an X-Acto knife to cut out the insides of those windows. Next up, I'm going to start working on my door. So I took the base piece as well as the decorative door panel piece, and I'm just going to glue that onto there. And then I'm going to take the rectangles that I cut from some purple cardstock, and I'm going to stack those on top of each other and glue them together. Then once I have all my stacked pieces glued together, I'm going to use some Villainous Potion Distress Oxide and just add some shadowing around the edges. Next, I went ahead and got a rough idea of where I was going to place those so that I could die cut the window arch from the top of the door. Once I got that window piece centered, I went ahead and taped that in place with some washi and ran that through my die cut machine. And then to get those panels relatively even before I glued them in place, I used my ruler and some washi again just to measure out some spacing. Then I went ahead and glued down the mailbox slot and then used my X-Acto knife again to cut out that space. Moving on from the door front, I went back to the side box pieces to add some vellum behind the windows. Then I started adding double-sided tape to most of the tabs. And before I created those boxes, I wanted to make sure that I added on my decorative panels. And then I could start folding each of my pieces on the score lines. Then once I had all the folds complete, I could go ahead and remove the release paper from the double-sided tape and create the boxes. Next up, I'm going to create the centerpiece that the door will sit on. And so I'm just going to fold in those pieces and add some double-sided tape as well. These two pieces here will create the top and bottom of the box, and they'll just slip right on to the main piece. And before I glued any of that down, I just thought it would be fun to add a piece of pattern paper to the back so there's an extra surprise when you open the door. So to glue this down, I did use some double-sided tape, but when sliding on the top and bottom piece, I did have to pry it apart to go ahead and slip those pieces on. So it might be easier to use liquid glue instead so you have a little bit of wiggle room. Next up, I can start bringing the whole piece together by adding on the door, and then each of the side pieces. And then, of course, I wanted to decorate it some more using the wreath and bow dies that are included in the set. And I was just going to add some Distress Oxide to give that some dimension. And then I'm going to bring in some more of that holographic cardstock to create the decorative pieces for the wreath. Next up, I added on the door handle. And I just used a pen to go ahead and add a little curl to that handle. And to create the bow, I'm just going to bring in some super glittery pink cardstock. I used the pen again to add a little curl to my bow as well. Once I attach the bow to the wreath, I use some foam tape to go ahead and pop that up onto the door. And that finishes up the construction of the 3D door box die. And here is a closer look of everything all put together. And here is the space where you could add candy or a gift card even. See, it fits here perfectly at an angle. And then you have each of these compartments on the side where you could also add some more candy, like a candy cane, but they also fit some crafty goodies like this snow marker, as well as a paper piercer. So there are a ton of options for things that you could add into this gift box. And then, of course, you have this whole back to add your message or your greeting, or even a pocket, and you could add a gift card or a special note there as well. And of course, you could find all the links to the products used in this video in the description box below. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!